Scotland may soon get a boost in its push for independence, as the UK House of Lords is set to debate providing Edinburgh with the powers necessary to hold a referendum on a breakaway. MPs at Westminster have already unanimously approved the move. Let's join RT's Polly Boyker in London to get more on these details right now. And Polly, it's good to see you. Thank you very much indeed for coming in at such a short notice. What do you think is expected to come of the peers' discussion?
Well, the House of Lords is widely expected to approve this transfer of powers over to Holyrood, the Scottish government, in order to allow them to hold a referendum on the question of Scottish independence in 2014. So, as we know, the MPs have already unanimously approved the move. So it's really what the House of Lords decides today, widely expected to approve it. And then the rest is a formality, and then we'll be a little bit closer to Scotland being able to decide whether or not they want to become independent in 2014.
Polly, do you think in some way it's mirroring the situation with the UK itself? Its relations with the European Union may soon face changes as well?
Well, of course, now the pressure is piling on David Cameron, the British Prime Minister. He's expected to give a massive speech on Friday about the future of Britain's relationship within the European Union. And he's been saying, and he's widely expected to call for a new settlement with Europe and a renegotiation of Britain's terms within the EU. And then he wants to, once he's got that, he wants to put that forward as a referendum to the British public around about 2015 if the Conservatives win the next general election. And of course, it is a lot of pressure. He's been accused of cherry picking and trying to pick the policies that he wants and not picking the policies that he doesn't want, while the EU is in the middle of a financial crisis, a chronic one now. We've got austerity measures at home, and a lot of the British public actually very keen to get out of the European Union. We've had a recent poll show that over 50% of the British public would actually vote to leave the EU if it came down to a referendum. So there's a lot of pressure on David Cameron, and the status quo is definitely being challenged at the moment. So we're seeing that with the Scottish, the news over the Scottish independence, and this upcoming speech that Cameron's about to give on Friday.
Polly, it's interesting how you discussed that, because it was Cameron who recently said that despite the numbers you've just given us, that the beating heart of England wants to stay in the EU. But why is it, though, that some MPs are so enthusiastic about leaving it?
Well, there's definitely a very strong call for change, Rory, because, I mean, a group of Eurosceptic Tory backbenchers actually launched a whole manifesto for changing Britain's role within the European Union today, actually. And I spoke to one of the members of Parliament who's behind it, and he told me that, you know, it was the previous generation of Brits that voted to enter the European Union in the 1970s, and it's high time that this generation gets a say. And given the crippling austerity measures, given how much money goes from the UK budget straight to Brussels every month, given the fact that a lot of MPs in the UK want to see a lot of British laws clawed back from the European Union, and stuff like to do with the criminal justice system, extradition, social policies that need to be changed, they say. So David Cameron has really got to walk a tightrope by trying to satisfy the Eurosceptics, of which there is a very large number within his own party. Then you've got the Europhiles at the same time, and also the British public that's demanding change. And at the very same time, we've got the European Union, which is extremely tense about what David Cameron is likely to say on Friday about how much criticism he might pile on the European Union. They've already reportedly warned that the European Union is not an a la carte menu. So David Cameron isn't going to be in favour. He's not going to be supported when he starts saying that we want to renegotiate the terms of our membership in the EU. So a busy time for David Cameron, and a lot of political analysts saying that he's unlikely to satisfy anyone, because it's a very difficult situation.
Indeed, absolutely. RT's Polly Boyker there, live in London. Thank you.
Thank you.